Hey everybody, this is Doomhammer with an update on the 32-team franchise. So we have played the first 4 weeks, and I'm going to give you a week 4 update as well as some transactions that took place this coming kind of first quarter of the season. So we'll take a look at the standings. Right now we have a very competitive AFC East. The New York Jets are 4-0, the Miami Dolphins are 4-0, and then the Bills and the Patriots are tied at 2-2. Rough outing for the Patriots to get started. They still, they can turn it around at any moment, but it's not looking great for them. They had a bad season last year, only going, I think it was 8-9 or something like that. So they kind of missed the playoffs. They could have been 9-8. I don't remember. Whatever it was, they weren't good enough for the playoffs. Then the AFC North, unlike last year where they just were all terrible, now all but the Steelers are terrible. So the Steelers are 3-1. Meanwhile, the Bengals, Ravens, and Browns are 1-3. The Houston Texans are shockingly leading the AFC South. Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-2. They're kind of in that doing fairly adequate for their talent. The Titans, who were the number 1 team in the AFC South last year, had 11 wins, are at the bottom with the Indianapolis Colts. And Colts are not doing well with Kirk Cousins. They're having a really major struggle coming out of the gate here. Of course, anything can happen, but not looking great in that division. And then the AFC West is a very competitive one. All the teams are 2-2 except for the Chiefs, with rookie Blake Bortles are 3-1. So that is a major turnaround as the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos all made the playoffs last year. Chiefs had the number 3, I believe, overall pick. And that's how they got Blake Bortles, who has been playing stellar. As for the NFC, we look at the Philadelphia Eagles being 4-0. They are one of the 3 undefeated teams here in the NFC. The Cowboys and Giants both at 2-2. And then Commanders are 1-3. We expect Johnny Manziel has not been starting, and he may get the start soon. He may not be next week, but he might be in the week after, or depends on if Trent Edwards is able to turn it around, which I'm not too optimistic about. Then you got the NFC North, and the Vikings have a very weak lead over this division at 2-2. Lions, Bears 1-3, and the Packers suck again. Now, this time they have Eli Manning at quarterback. They might play him again. I think they're going to probably swap for Brock Osweiler. I'll show you what some of the transactions were this week, because they do make some changes, and they start to sort of pack up their entire team, basically, and focus on the draft. And then you've got the Atlanta Falcons, who are 4-0. In their division, led by Peyton Manning, and technically a team with a lower overall than they should. Like, they're very low talent, apparently, but they're 4-0. They're winning games. Panthers are 2-2, Buccaneers 1-3, and then the Saints are the second team out of only the entire league who are winless. Saints there at 0-4, led by Geno Smith. Not coming away with any victories here. We might see Michael Vick coming soon, depending on how bad they continue to be. And then, another surprise, we have the NFC West, led by the undefeated St. Louis Rams, who are led by Andrew Luck. Then you've got the Seattle Seahawks. They are 3-1. They're led by Matthew Stafford. They got blown out in their first week, and then they've been on a 3-game win streak ever since. The Arizona Cardinals, Super Bowl defending Super Bowl champions at 2-2. And then the 49ers, with an aging Drew Brees, are 1-3. So those are the standings for those first couple weeks. As we look at some player stats here, you see right now Cam Newton leads the way with 1,354 yards. Then Tom Brady, Alex Smith, Andy Dalton, and RG3. Then we've got for rushing, we have Ryan Matthews, Trent Richardson, shockingly Ben Tate, Darren McFadden, and Ahmad Bradshaw. And then by 1 yard, we got Chris Johnson, all leading the way for rushing. And then touchdowns, Ben Tate has 7 in the first 4 weeks. Then looking at receiving, we got, of course, Calvin Johnson Jr., Julio Jones, Santonio Holmes, Mike Wallace, and Michael Crabtree. 2 yards behind him is James Hardy from the Cincinnati Bengals. Looking at TDs, Josh Gordon leads the way with 9. Drops, we have James Jones, Malcolm Kelly, and James Hardy. Tackles, we got Whitner, Colin McCarthy, Michael Kendricks, CJ Mosley, Stanley Arnault. Sacks, we had somehow Bruce Irvin. Wow, he's at 6 solo sacks, followed by Kareem Martin, Everett Brown, Brandon Graham, Alex Okafor, kind of in that top 5. Interceptions, we got Demario Davis and Antoine Cason. Then the ones with 3 are Tracy Porter, Tim Jennings, Leotis McKelvin, D'Angelo Hall, rounding up your top 6. Kicking, I don't know how much any of you really care, but it looks like, I don't know how they're sorting this. But now we'll get to some of the transactions. So since the Saints are 0-4, they trade away Trent Cole, who was like a 34-year-old pass rusher, to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now they get a 7th-round pick for the veteran, and they pick up a left tackle and more. So this was a trade. They had to give up some players because they didn't have the cap space for him. But they have 280 overall outside linebackers. So if we take a look at the Eagles roster, or depth chart maybe, that's a better way of looking at it. So they had Melvin Ingram III and KJ Wright, but they're backed up by 250 overall, so 55 and 58. So I wanted to give the Eagles more depth. It also gives them a pass rusher, so that was a change that took place. As we go to the next trade, which involved the signing, so to replace him is Danny Trevathan. So they got, I think it's Gerald Hodges Jr. and then Danny Trevathan as their outside linebackers. So they went a little bit younger. So instead of a 34-year-old, they got themselves a 24-year-old. And now we begin the sale of the Green Bay Packers. Packers made a lot of trades. They really are kind of thrown in the towel. They have DeMarcus Ware, the 87 overall, 3rd best defensive end in the league, for a 2nd-round pick. So that 32-year-old is heading to Kansas City. So the Packers pick up a pick that could get them a very good pass rusher in the 2015 NFL draft. And they give up DeMarcus Ware, who was acquired by them to be on the opposite side of Von Miller. And it was effective. They were a great pass rush. They just couldn't find a way to win. So now that he's 32, the Packers are deciding they had to break up this defense. They're keeping Von Miller since he's still on that rookie contract, but they have a lot of work to do, a lot of rebuilding to do. They need to get their quarterback figured out. They need to figure out how not to waste this talent. So they have a lot of trades right now to get themselves in that position. Another one is Vince Wilfork, another mid-30-year-old who is picking them up a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick that they're giving up, and they're getting a 3rd and a 7th. So they're moving up in the draft. So they picked up a 2nd-round pick. Now they have another 3rd-round pick for the aging Wilfork, and they just basically move up from the 4th round to the 3rd round. And Oakland, they were the defending AFC champions. However, I don't know if they're going to do that this year. So their 3rd-round pick could be probably in the teens. And then they give up their 33 or 32-year-old right guard, Lee Charles Bentley. I know that's not the right face scan for him, or the headshot for him, but that's fine. We don't care. And they're picking up a 4th-round pick from the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins are undefeated. They're 4-0. But 4th-round pick is still good for an aging guard. The Dolphins do have Carl Nix at right guard, and that left guard is where they have an injury, and Bentley's an upgrade over both guards. So this is a good move for the Dolphins to get an 82 overall veteran to help them with their pass defense and their rush attack. So hopefully Bentley fits right into this Miami Dolphin powerhouse team. And then they trade away the 4th-round pick. The Chargers give up a 4th-round pick for Julian Edelman. Now, I was actually hoping that Edelman would go to the Patriots, but the Patriots have no cap room for someone like Edelman. And Edelman is, I think he's 30. Let's just double-check that because why not? Okay, I don't see it here. Okay, it's going to be... Edelman is 28. So 28-year-old receiver. I'm trying to remember why it was his contract is up. What is his contract? Oh, maybe it's under money. And this is the franchise tool for anyone who doesn't know it. Oh, no. It's just he's expensive. That's what it was. He's got a lot of money for someone that's on a team that's a loser. So Edelman goes to the Chargers because the Chargers at this point, because I'm showing you the week 1 roster. So this is before the trades were made. Who am I going to? The Chargers. They've got Holmes and Macklin, great receivers. But I wanted to get them a slot receiver since they are trying to overcome the Chiefs. They can very easily do that. They got Aaron Rodgers, so give them another weapon. A 4th-round pick is nothing when you're trying to make a Super Bowl. So they make that move, and as you can see, Devon Best is their 3rd-string receiver. They're kind of their slot receiver, and I figured Edelman is going to be a tremendous upgrade. The Pittsburgh Steelers get involved. So Sean Merriman, who's been one of their long-term linebackers, I think he was in the 2003 or 2004 draft. So he's been with the Chargers, or with the he was in the Chargers in real life, but he's with the here I am doing a video recording at midnight. Anyway, so Sean Merriman was originally drafted by the Chargers in real life. He was drafted by the Packers in my franchise, and it was him, Von Miller, a lot of great Green Bay Packers players, and they would have great seasons, and they had awful seasons. Since they're having an awful season right now, Merriman is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 30-year-old linebacker is going to upgrade this linebacking core where the Steelers have DJ Williams, who's been good for them for a long time, but we see the 32-year-old going to be moving on. And so DJ Williams and a 5th-round pick. Again, the Packers do not care about DJ Williams. They actually go ahead and release him. So Williams is gone off the team. I just traded Williams to have the cap space for Pittsburgh. But they do get a 5th-round pick for the 30-year-old linebacker, just getting more draft capital. And now here's the huge trade. So the New York Jets, they are also undefeated. And so let's see, which team are they on? It was the Jets. The Jets have Clinton Portis. But Clinton Portis is becoming an old man. So Clinton Portis here is 33 years old. Well, that's not good. So we need to finally find an upgrade for him. And LeSean McCoy has I think 3 years on his contract. And the Jets are just trying to get a Super Bowl with Alex Smith. So what I decided to do was the Jets, who will be picking at the top of the draft, because they're the high end, let's go ahead and get rid of their 1st-round pick to acquire one of the league's best running backs in LeSean McCoy, who, yes, probably would have stayed with the Packers throughout their rebuilding years, but McCoy is 26 years old, and they are trying to get their team on the right track. So they get a 1st-round pick in 2015. They get a mid-round pick in 2016. They get Andre Brown, who is a decent running back. So when we look at Andre Brown, he's 27 years old, 76 overall. He is now heading to Green Bay. Green Bay is losing a superstar running back, 26 years old. That's sad to see him go, but his morale is starting to decrease. And I think when we're looking at trying to build up capital, especially in the 2015 NFL draft, now they have 2 1st-round picks, 2 2nd-round picks, 2 3rd-round picks. Actually, can I see their picks? It's under. Yeah, here they are. Oh, that's right. This is here. Let me go ahead and get you the update. There we go. So this is moving forward because I already started a little bit of week 5. So this is the after trades. We've got the estimated number 1 overall pick and the estimated 32nd overall pick. So we'll see if that pans out. Then we've got 2 2nd-round picks. We got 2 3rd-round picks, 2 4th-round picks, 2 5th-round picks, a 6th and a 7th. And then we have 2 5th-round picks next year. Maybe I could have had, and then we gave up our 6th-round pick. But Green Bay is now in a much better, they're in a terrible situation for this season because they do release Eli Manning because he is owed $17.5 million and he's playing like dog you know what. And so we are moving on from him. So Brock Osweiler's moving up. They also released Denario Alexander as well because, well, quite frankly, he was also more expensive. They bring up Stedman Bailey from the practice squad. We also make a few other changes. But when we just look at some of these new trades, so you add LeSean McCoy to the New York Jets. That's a big plus with Alex Smith. So you have a 97 overall quarterback, 90 overall running back, and Clinton Portis is still there. And Portis is going to be Clinton Portis. I mean, he is a dynamic running back. But now all of a sudden we bring in McCoy, so they have that 1-2 punch. It's going to be fantastic. We look at Pittsburgh. Pick up Sean Merriman. So now they have a lot of weakness. They lost a linebacker. They lost Brandon Spikes in free agency. They got Cameron Wembley, who's 77 overall, but they were working with a 72 overall 32-year-old. Now they've got a 30-year-old 80 overall Sean Merriman. Looking forward to seeing how Pittsburgh better handles that. As for the Chiefs, now they have Jason Pierre-Paul and Ziggy Hood. They've got Jonathan Hankins, Vance Walker. That's their D-line. So I'm not replacing Jason Pierre-Paul with DeMarcus Ware. I'm putting DeMarcus Ware, even though he's a left end, at linebacker. So Arthur Moats is right there. And Moats is being replaced by Ware. So Ware is obviously a starter. But if we look at specialists, we're going to have Jason Pierre-Paul and DeMarcus Ware in pass rush situations. That has elevated them like a whole 16 overall points, going for 14 overall points from Dante Moak, who is the pass rusher, now to DeMarcus Ware. So the Chiefs really pick up a great pass rusher to keep them ahead in this division. Then we look at the Raiders. Raiders get Will Fork, so they have Star Lotulelei, who is the young man, and then they get Vince Wilfork, the veteran, so they double up there. If we go to DTs, we see the 32-year-old with the 24-year-old, so I think it's a good pairing. Let's see, who else made a trade? It was we did the Jets, the Dolphins, Chargers. And so the Chargers, we see with Edelman, that just really helps their receiving core. I'm looking forward to having him as a slot receiver. And then we have the Saints. And the Saints have Sam Young. And Sam Young is being pushed over to right tackle because he's just a backup for now. He wasn't really about Sam Young. It was about getting the draft pick. And then they also picked up the cornerback. And so I don't think he's in Sterling Moore, kind of a depth filling in the roster. But they basically free up space so that Michael Johnson doesn't have Trenton Cole, or actually no, I see Dansby still on the left side, Gerald Hodges. So they got some younger talent starting. And then it was the Eagles who pick up Trenton Cole, who is the backup for KJ Wright and Melvin Ingram. So you had a 74 overall veteran on this undefeated Philadelphia Eagles team. We look at specialists. He becomes a pass rusher just like DeMarcus Ware. That sort of elevates them. Robert Ayers could be a pass rusher there. But we just add some more depth on a team that has $0.11 million cap space, so not much good there. But then we've got the Bears also releasing their kicker, Justin Medlock. He's at like 64 power. It's really, really bad. He's been a bad kicker. I got tired of him missing. And then we got Billy Cundiff. He's coming in as the kicker for the Chicago Bears. He was sitting there in free agency, and I just figured I'd have to make the move. I could take a look at see Chicago, and maybe it's the free agency I have to go check. So Medlock, let's see, does he have his stats for this season? Yeah, so he missed 2 field goals in week 3 against Seattle. It was a 30-yarder and a 40-yarder attempted. And then he missed a 50-yarder. And so I'm going, all right, this is a team, the Bears are trying to win in a tough division, and you keep missing your kicks. So they decide to move on. So there's the week 4 update. Hope you enjoyed this video. Yes, if you're new to the channel, leave, subscribe if you want to see more updates on this alternate reality. It's a lot of fun. This is year 13. I play every single game. On offense on both sides, and it's just a way of recreating the NFL. So I don't know if I'll give how many updates I'll give on this, because I'm gonna keep trying to just keep pushing, plowing ahead. But I'll try to keep you informed on how the franchise is going, some of the storylines, and some of the transactions. So thanks for watching, everybody.